Hey there, Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1733 of What's She Up To Now, documenting the journey. Originally in 2018 or 2019, I started doing videos, and I started to do them for a particular reason. Number one, I was scared to death to do videos. So I started out with a group from ClickFunnels, a group of leaders in ClickFunnels. One of them in particular decided he was going to do a live video every day for a year. And I'd already been doing an annual challenge, so I thought, well, I could just take my annual challenge and I could do that every day for a year. Now, that's not what I did in this particular group. That was our place to play and experiment and try different things and do different things. And it's a good thing because I learned a lot in that group. It was a private group, so it was low risk. We only had, I think we started out with probably 100 or so of us. It ended up only being 6 of us, I think, 6 or 7 of us that actually finished and did a video every day. And those of us that did it, I think, gained so much from it. If I look around, all of us that did it for the entire year are still creating and producing live videos today. It's really powerful because we learned to be consistent. We learned to do something every day that moved us toward what we want, which is what this year's annual challenge, the BU 365-day challenge, is all about. It's about doing one thing every day that moves us toward what we want. And it can be anything. And this year we focused on all the different areas and aspects of our life. We spent a month on each one. And the last 3 months we're doing kind of a mix of a lot of different things, but things to get as many tools in our toolboxes as we need to create the life that we want moving forward. And are there always new tools being created? Yes. Are there always new gurus and people to teach us something? Yes. But we have to pick and choose what it is that you need right now. I have to pick and choose among all the possibilities. What is it that I need right now? Not all the things I could possibly do, because that's infinite, but what's the next thing I need to do right now? So today we're talking about change, which is, kind of what the annual challenge is all about. It's about doing one thing every day, a little thing. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. The little things end up being cumulative. The showing up every day, being consistent, is cumulative, and it has a huge impact and effect on our personal development, our growth, our confidence, and all the other areas and aspects of our life. So today's paradox, we're sharing a paradox. I'm doing 20 days of paradoxes in the challenge. Why? Because I've never really thought about paradoxes before or shared my thoughts and my learnings on them with other people. So I thought, okay, it's a kind of fun thing to do for October. I found a list of 20 paradoxes, things that sound absolutely outrageous and absurd on the surface, but if we think about them, we can probably think of dozens of examples in our life where they're absolutely true for us. We can also think of examples where they're not true for us. We can usually think of a lot more examples where they are in fact true than not. And today's is the change paradox. And the change paradox I so embrace these days, which has been a lifesaver. I had a little lifesaver box, but somehow during video transition I set it somewhere that I am not seeing it handily. Probably dropped it under my chair, and that's why I can't see it. And we know I don't see very well anyway, so it makes it harder when things fall out of my zone. So that change paradox says the only constant is change. And I didn't used to understand that on a conscious level. I think subconsciously we all know that, and that's why we have, thoughts and beliefs that protect us in a subconscious way that we're not even necessarily aware of. But consciously, I don't even remember when I just kind of gave up and said, change is inevitable, so I better frickin' figure it out. I think the biggest wake-up call to paying close attention to my process for dealing with changes and challenges came along with the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, because I knew there were going to be a whole lot of changes that we'd never experienced before, that I had never experienced before, and I had to have a structured way of dealing with them. So I actually did the SOAP framework on myself, and I said, okay, what's going on right now? What's my current story and situation? What do I want it to be? And by asking those 2 questions, I realized there was a gap between what was happening, where I currently was, and where I wanted to be. And so the rest of the framework I created or just renamed to fill that gap. So the O stands for options, A stands for action, because nothing happens unless we take action, and P stands for progress. How do I know if I'm making progress or not? So story or situation, options, actions, and in order to take action, we have to have analyzing tools and decision-making abilities. And then P, we need to be able to measure or know how are we making progress? How do we know if we're moving toward what we want or not? A lot of it is, how do I feel? If I'm feeling positive and good, I'm probably moving toward what I want. If I feel negative, icky, stressed out, worried, doubtful, or fearful, guess what? I'm not making progress. I'm going the wrong way, and I need to make a change because change is inevitable. I think once we embrace, and the same thing happened to me with respect to weather. I used to get all bent out of shape when the weather was bad, like I had any control over that. And traffic. I only have a little modicum of control over traffic, and that's me doing things to change so that I don't have to experience traffic. Now, I don't drive. I haven't driven for a couple of years, but I still remember exactly how it made me feel when I would be stuck in a traffic jam or stuck. But I did things. When I was in traffic, I thought, okay, this is my downtime to listen and learn and think and plan in a quiet area, unless people were beeping and getting all frustrated. And I think I realized the traffic one by looking at the people around me and noticing some people were unfazed by the traffic. Other people were frustrated. And who did I want to be? Did I want to make my daily commute a positive experience or a negative experience? It was totally up to me. And when I realized I had that freedom, everything opened up and traffic didn't bother me anymore. Change and challenges, it's going to happen. So we better find a way to embrace it. And that's what the Get Up and Go Challenge was all about. We did that in 2020 and 2021, a 30+ day challenge every other month for those 2 years. And then rolled in this year, decided, okay, I want to kind of keep that going, but how do I keep that going without having to be a start, stop, and 30 days that people commit? Well, that's what I do. I created an annual challenge, which is even harder for people to say, yeah, I'm going to show up every day. But the cool thing about it is it's